Hello everybody, this is SuperFang99. Before we begin, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell to be notified when I post a new video. It really helps out the channel. With that out of the way, today we are going to be going through and beginning our playthrough of Return to the Circle Undone. The final Return to, if Fantasy Flight Games is to be believed, meaning that this will be the last time that we will do a return to scenario. Most likely, who knows? Possibly in the future, that may change. But for now, that is the case. I'm super excited. A couple of things to go through. One, this is kind of a new setup. If you watched my Fortune and Folly video last week, a couple weeks ago, you'll notice that there has been a new setup. I'm on a new table right now. I also just got these Investigator card holder things that I'm super excited to try out as well. And so apologies if there's anything I mess up with my setup and stuff like that. I think ultimately this is going to be an upgrade. And yeah, I also did notice in the last Fortune and Folly, my mic was actually a little bit low. My apologies. I'm pretty sure it should be fixed now. Anyway, with that out of the way, we're going to be going through Return to the Circle Undone. Why don't we first talk about the investigators that I am bringing for Return to the Circle Undone? Let's start off with our fighter. It's Leo Anderson, first time on the channel. 4 willpower, 3 intellect, 4 combat, 1 agility. As a reaction after your turn begins, play an ally asset from your hand, reducing its cost by 1. Elder Sign effect +2. Search the top 3 cards of your deck for an ally asset and draw it. Shuffle your deck. He has 3 health and 6 sanity. He is the Guardian Rogue Investigator. Guardian 0 to 5. Rogue 0 to 2. Super excited to try Leo out on the channel. We're going to be going kind of a standard Leo, I should say. Not like Meat Grinder Leo. Kind of leaning more into big guns later down the road. For now, though, we're going to be taking some weapons, so let's talk about them. I am playing with the latest Taboo, which will not impact Leo's cards, I think, but will impact a few of Daisy's cards when we get to her. Anyway, so we're going to be starting off with some Enchanted Blades. Very good card, and pretty important for this campaign as well. Next, we have some Mausers for additional weapons. We have 2 machetes. In the latest Taboo, machetes do not require any additional XP, so they are level 0 once again. And we have 2 45 automatics. I'm pretty heavy on weapons starting out at level 0 just to make sure that we get them, especially for the first scenario. Most likely, they will be tailored off as we get more XP. Next, let's talk about our allies. Allies are very important for Leo. We got 2 beat cops, 2 guard dogs, and 2 medical students. Medical students seem like they provide pretty good healing and soak, which may be an issue in the Circle Undone, who knows. Alright, next I got 2 copies of Prepared for the Worst. Again, we're a little bit weapon heavy. We have a total of 8 weapons plus these 2 cards, so hopefully that means that we will find those weapons at the first scenario. 2 callings and favors. Basically, it's kind of like economy. They will get better as we get better allies, and they might be able to heal some of our allies effectively. And we have, come on, 2 motivational speeches for some more economy, and it's a parlay in case I need to emergency bring out an ally. 2 stand-togethers for some final economy there. I also have 2 copies of One in the Chamber. This is kind of me leaning slightly into big gun. Obviously, the only recipients for this are going to be the Mauser and the 45 automatic. Yeah, we'll get to some bigger guns later on that may benefit from this. Alright, as for some skills, we got 2 copies of Vicious Blow. It's just a good card. 2 copies of Inspiring Presence, especially good in Leo. He's in the art. You got to take it. And 2 copies of Steadfast. A lot of brain tests in this campaign. Figured we should take that. And here are our signatures, of course. Mitch Brown and Bought in Blood. Alright, let's move on to Daisy. You all have seen Daisy on the channel, of course, but we shall go over her regardless. 3 willpower, 5 intellect, 2 combats, 2 agility. You may take an additional action during your turn, which can only be used to activate a tome action ability. Elder Sign effect +0. If you succeed, draw a card for each tome you control. 5 health and 9 sanity. So, this Daisy deck is obviously going to lean into tomes, but I'm going to be also trying out the new Clue Drop archetype. Starting with research notes. We have 2 copies of research notes. Again, this is the latest taboo as of October. It is right now that I'm filming this. October 2023, meaning that research notes has an additional clause on its activation, meaning max 3 evidence spent per round. So, not, you can't spend 6 evidence in one round off of all of your research notes, but still can be good, especially if you can get both of them out at the same time. Next, we got William T. Malison. I honestly don't know how to pronounce his last name. He is great soak and also talks into the clue dropping archetype. I will be upgrading him as soon as possible. Mostly, we'll see how that goes. He's pretty reliable clue dropping. And we also have analysis for very good clue dropping. I think that this card will be excellent in the Union and Dissolution. Just because there's going to be some big tests in that scenario. And we need to make sure we pass. Alright, as always, you got 2 Old Book of Lores for Daisy. You can't go wrong with those. We got 2 Grim Memoirs. I haven't played Grim Memoir in Daisy yet. It seems busted. It's a free action to investigate. Seems good. Possibly draw a card as well. We also have 2 Dr. Mylan Christophers for economy and intellect boosting. Tabooed, of course. You can only do this once per round by exhausting him. We got 2 Tooth of Estli. There's a lot of willpower and also going to be some agility tests in this campaign, this Return to campaign. So hopefully this will provide some use there. Most likely, though, this will get upgraded into Press Pass, which is, again, part of the clue dropping archetype. And for some economy, we got Crack the Case. Alright, we got some Mystic cards. So we got 2 Drawn to the Flames for some clue bursting. We got 2 Wards of Protection, and we got 2 Deny Existences. The wards and the denies are mostly for damage-dealing treacheries, as well as Fate of All Fools. That's probably a good way to do that as well. Alright, as you see on the screen, we're taking 2 copies of Persuasion. So, let me explain. So, first of all, we're going to do tabooed Persuasion, meaning it is non-weakness enemy, not humanoid enemy, just non-weakness enemy, meaning we're going to try and persuade some mindless dancers. That is my solution to the last scenario. Also, I think that this will work very, very well against a lot of the Silver Twilight Acolyte enemies, Silver Twilight Lodge enemies in the 2nd scenario, the 5th scenario, etc. Gonna be able to shuffle them back in while they accrue doom. Pretty good. Also, Daisy has high books, so most likely she can pass. And additionally, she's bringing fine clothes because that can reduce the difficulty of the persuasion tests. And also, there are some pretty good parlays that we're going to need to be able to do in especially the 2nd scenario. Alright, let's talk about skills. We have our classics. We have 2 deductions. We have 2 inquiring minds because she's going to be dropping clues, so most likely inquiring minds are going to be on the table. Oh, and those are the skills. We already saw the analysis. And importantly, you'll notice I am playing with the advanced versions of Daisy's signature cards. If you're unfamiliar, Daisy, a parallel investigator for Daisy was produced, changed up her front and her back of her investigator card. These, however, are what's known as advanced signatures. You can choose to take them in lieu of your standard signatures. And what that means is they are both, this one's much more tough and this one is much better. I think that the Daisy's Tote Bag Advance is a lot better than the normal one. That being said, we'll see what happens when we get the Necronomicon. It changed from an Elder Sign to an Autofail, from an Elder Sign to each of Cultist, Tablet, and Elder Thing, which probably is pretty bad. So we'll see how we deal with that. But Daisy's Tote Bag is fantastic. Turning those tome assets fast is very good. Alright, now that we've shown off the decks, I think we should probably generate some random basic weaknesses. So I will go get those and be right back. Don't go anywhere. And we are back. As always, I have counted the number of weaknesses that we have For each investigator, we have a total of 36, and so I will be randomizing as such, preventing any rerolls. Let's start with Leo Anderson. Number 16. So that is number 9. This is 18, 17, 16. Panic! After you take a play, engage, or resource action, you cannot take any more of those types of actions for the remainder of the turn. Alright, so that hopefully is not too bad. Engage might be troublesome. Play might be troublesome, but we do have some healing via the medical students, and his reaction is not a play action, so hopefully that should be pretty good. Alright, as for Daisy, we have 26. So that was 16, 17, 18, skipping that one, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Fascinating. Unspeakable oath, cowardice, curiosity. So she needs to investigate a location with no clues in order to get her full experience for the scenario. That is not that bad. Alright, I'm going to go sleeve these up and we will be right back. And we're back. Alright, well, let's get this show on the road. We already read the additional rules and clarifications last time. As always, I will be skipping all the flavor text that I've already read. But importantly, this is the first big change with this return to. Instead of doing this intro prologue scenario, I should say, disappearance of the Twilight State, we will instead follow the return to guidelines. So, disappearance of the Twilight Estate. Instead of playing through Return to Disappearance of the Twilight Estate, the players may choose to do the following. Each player chooses one of the neutral Prologue investigators as normal. Then, that player draws a random tarot card from the tarot deck and refers to the list below to see what happened to that character, recording it in the campaign log where appropriate, adding up the total pieces of evidence left behind. The same card cannot be drawn from more than one character. Well, we shall do so. So, Leo shall be choosing Gabriella Mizra, the combat one, and Daisy, of course, will be choosing Jerome Davids. And let us see their fates. I have this nifty tarot deck holder here. I shuffle this a little bit off stream. We will do a couple shuffles on camera. And let us see. Let's start with Gabriella. What is her fate? The High Priestess 2. So, that means that Gabriella disappeared into the mist and 0 pieces of evidence were left behind. Alright, fair enough. And as for Jerome Davids, he got Judgment 20. Jerome was taken by the Watcher, and 3 pieces of evidence were left behind. Alright, well, we will note date that in the campaign log as we go. Alright, and with that done, we can then move into the setup, or I should say, the subsequent setup for the Witching Hour, mostly because I wanted to show y'all that I will be rejecting my fate. So I won't read that, of course, but I will add 2 Elder Things into the Chaos bag before the start of the next scenario, which should be out right now because that is all the setup that we need to do. So, if you like this video, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell to be notified when I post a new video. This has been SuperFang99, signing off.